Outside of the main advertising formats, you get what we'll call the non-display formats. One of the most significant areas is mobile search. Google tell us that mobile search has increased 500% in the last 2 years, and now 1 in 10 retail searches are actually being done on a mobile device. So any brand who is not in mobile search is clearly missing out. And in the first session, the mobile landscape, we actually saw that the growth of search now is actually overtaking some of the other channels, such as brand SMS. It's important to remember with mobile search that it's different. For a start, unlike desktop search, local intent is a really important part. Half of searches on mobile are for local things. So where is my nearest? Where can I buy this? All that kind of thing. So it's all about where you are now and wanting to do it right now. And this is the other aspect of mobile search, which is different to desktop, is it's all about immediacy. So Google tell us that 80% of searches in mobile are for actions to do right away. In terms of search as well, on mobile, it can be different. You can do other stuff. Of course, don't forget that a mobile phone is still a phone. So, for example, click to call is a really good way of getting response rates, and it has a high click-through rate. And the great thing is it doesn't cannibalize your URLs. You simply just tap and you get straight through to the brand. Or you can use it to download an app. Or you can take somebody straight through to a map. Or you can take them through to your mobile site, of course. But it's important with mobile that you actually do run it separately. And the reason for that is that it's important to enable to measure and understand. Because we know that mobile intent, mobile activity is different, unless you can keep it as a separate campaign, you will never understand how to optimize that. So, let's consider some of the best practices for mobile search. So first of all, it needs to be a mobile site. Now that may be obvious, but even now, if you search for a number of brands on your mobile device, they will show results that aren't for a mobile site. For the search engines, Google will tend to preference sites that are optimized for mobile. So in other words, their bots will crawl and they'll have a look, and if it performs well on a mobile device, then they will prioritize that. They will give that a higher authority ranking than a competing site that isn't optimized for the mobile. The other thing that they take into account is loading speed. The search engines are well aware of the need to load quickly on a mobile device of some of the data restrictions that people have. So you need to take care with things like responsive design or transcoding sites. So in other words, if you're taking a desktop site and transcoding that for mobile, try and declutter it and make sure that it loads well. The other thing that Google will penalize are bad redirects. Redirects that attempt to cloak or hide the site are always going to be penalized. Similarly, Google advised keeping the site on the main URL. Now this is interesting because a lot of brands have developed what we call m.sites, so m.mysite.com or www.mysite.mobi, for example. Now what is interesting is that Google say they don't give any preference to those kinds of URLs. So probably the best thing for most brands is to actually sit it on your main URL, because then the mobile site will also get the authority of the main site. Google also ignores geotagging. Geotagging is a technique through which you can actually put a location into a tag, and that can actually help for location-based searches. Well, that's fine, but Google doesn't give that any priority. The important thing if you want to get location is to optimize your searches for local business. So one of the important channels is direct SMS. In the session on the mobile landscape, we talked about how important SMS messaging still remains within mobile, how it's the glue that keeps things together. Well, what's happened is that the operators in the UK have actually started to develop their own channels. The biggest of these is called O2 More, and they have over 6 million users who have opted in to receive information from them. And Orange also have a channel called Orange Shots, which has around 2 million users. What's interesting about this is they can be highly targeted in what they do. So they obviously have a lot of information about their customers. So they know, for example, who they bank with, they know where they've been abroad, and the people who opt in themselves also give choices about their kind of lifestyle and things that they're interested in. They can also target by location. Later on in 2012, we're actually going to see a joint venture between the UK operators which will allow all 4 of the big operators to use SMS as a direct marketing channel. And for brands, this offers a lot of potential and is particularly significant. I mentioned before the importance of location, and geotargeting is really significant. So, for example, one of the things that O2 More can do is to trigger an SMS by a particular user activity. So, for example, if a user walks into a shopping centre, they can actually send them a text to say, did you know that Marks and Spencer's have an offer on a particular item? Starbucks have used the service to offer immediate discounts, and L'Oreal have used location-based SMS for a 2-for-1 deal. One of the developments we're seeing is in social location and promotions. First people to come up with this really were Foursquare, who invented the check-in. So the idea with Foursquare is that you will check into a place, and when you did so, there would be an offer. So Starbucks did it, offering free coffees and things like that. And then we've seen the growth of mobile-specific vouchering networks. So there's people like Voucher Cloud and Living Social who offer incentivized offers for people who visit specific places. That's the end of the mobile advertising section. To test your understanding a little bit more, think about how a product release for a brand, if you're choosing, can make use of mobile advertising to enhance their reach. Which formats would you use, and describe some of the creative executions?